Hey, it's Pete. How's it going? Welcome to a new episode of today's Best Stock Picks. It's Wednesday morning, January 13th, 2021. Stock futures are drifting slowly lower. Not a shock. I mean, even with the impeachment stuff going on right now, if you think that's not going to affect this runaway bull market that we have, you're kidding yourself. The market's been kind of drifting sideways. Even though we're kind of melting up a little bit, it's been really the kind of market where you need to be very stock specific right now. You really need to be on top of your sector rotation. You really need to be on top of which stocks are following through, which ones are showing what we call melted candles, otherwise known as indecision. You really need to be on top of which stocks are showing us energy candlesticks, which is larger red or larger green candlesticks. Now, red on the short side, we did have a couple of short sales while the market was selling off a little bit yesterday, but on the long side, the buying opportunities are still number one right now. That might change a little bit today with the market going down if we actually follow through to the downside. But the higher probability trades are stocks to be looking at on the long side right now as a buyer. Now, here's the key. If we kind of drift down, if we start to trade down a little bit more, I would say aggressively, for lack of a better way of putting it, you need to make a decision now. You need to script your success right now on if you plan on short selling or if you plan on just sitting back and waiting for opportunities to buy some of these amazing stocks at better prices where you can set up a new swing trade. I know we're getting that a little bit in NEO right now, where we had a little bit of sell the news on NEO day. But today's opportunity, the biggest opportunity I think we're going to be taking a look at today is Fubo. We're actually going to first take a look at the futures. Then we'll jump into, we've got a list of about a dozen stocks to start out with. So let's take a look. Oh, by the way, if you find these videos helpful, and especially if you find them profitable, I'd really like to ask a favor. It would mean the world to me if you can give us a thumbs up on the video, and especially if you can subscribe to the channel, because then you'll get updates and you won't miss any of the new stuff that we have going on. So we're going to hop on over. We're going to take a look first at the futures. So you can see where we closed. We sold off a little bit. This was that window, that pocket of opportunity where I was talking about short selling. We actually had a short sale on Twitter yesterday. Didn't really follow through, but it was the right trade in that opportunity. But now you can see from where we closed to where we are now, we're not down a lot, but we are down. That's the big thing. So heading over to Fubo, we've had a lot of questions about this stock, but some pretty big news changed. And that's why the stock actually was up 34% yesterday, traded a lot more volume than it normally does. And this whole difference between broadcasting streaming service and combining that with online gambling. Very unique, very unique. It's, you can do your own research, do your own due diligence on what that means. But here's the story. I mean, it's right out of Investors Business Daily. Deal fueling online sports betting plans. Now that's a really, really big deal if it all flows out and comes to fruition. So how do you handle a trade like this? What is the proper, hashtag trade like a pro, act like a pro do in this situation? Well, because the stock just got basically 100% haircut from where it rallied to where it came back to, we were staying away from it. We said we wanted to see the stock go well bid. We wanted to see some smart money activity before we jumped in. And that's actually what we got. So now the challenge here is 30 is clearly the level that would have been the breakout level if it was normal price action and started heading back in the other direction. But we kind of blasted right through that right away. So today, what I'm looking to do is going to be start building a smaller position, fully expecting the stock to wiggle and jiggle just a little bit, maybe not have the perfect entry, but have the right side of the idea. If it does not come to fruition and pulls back, I'll have fewer shares on a trade that's not working out. If it does, we start building that position and looking for that 62.50 level and more. Some other stocks I'll be looking at today, again, in the context of opportunity and hitting new levels. DocuSign's another one. We've actually now gone well bid through that most recent resistance level. We're looking at the 290 level. Now, the challenge here is we are 4 days into this move. We did pause for a couple of days here, but we're really 4 days into the move. So again, first time breaking out, well bid, closing strong. We're going to work this position a little bit, have 1/3 to 1/2 of our original entry, and then look for that push up to the new levels. Uber and LYFT, two really good clean breakouts. It looks like Uber chart's a little bit stronger. We actually had a buy stop set for 50 for LYFT. If you go back, we actually had that in a video from last week. I actually canceled the buy stop because of how long it was taking to get there. So I set an alert, and today is going to be a new day to look for an entry above yesterday's high, looking for some follow through. Triple D back in our watch list. It was one of our featured stocks last week. Hopefully you participated in that. It was really exciting to trade. It was clean. We're getting follow through, great entries. And now we have 2 days of consolidating after that explosive move about divesting some assets and whatnot, which was seen as very good for the company. And now we can manage this trade just a little bit better because price action is kind of settled in. The side of the trade is settled in. But again, you don't just buy recklessly. You still need to read the tape, have your entries, and look for the next target. Is the stock going to rally 100% like it did last week? No, I can pretty much feel confident saying that. However, what happened is what we call hold the bid. They held the bid, the buyers pushed it up, and now they're holding it, giving us an opportunity to look for the next trade. Now, remember, the stock went from 10 to 32. If it trades lower today and the stock is still settling in, leave it alone. We want the stock to be moving in our favor, which is one of the reasons that we're using buy stops a lot more as opposed to limit orders. We're forcing the stock to be moving in our direction, but it's absolutely on our watch list again. Okay, next we have CIGN actually punching through. You can see here, pausing at some, let's actually go to a higher time frame so you can see it. Pausing at what we might call a quadruple top up here right now, but really good, some good clean price action. It's now pushing a pause and well bid through that level and closing near the high. So we're looking for the next move through that level. DOW, not the Dow Jones Industrial, Dow stock. And actually a push and a pause and closing well bid again. And again, we want to look back and see where the stock sits relative to resistance levels, relative to where sellers did something significant. And you can see here, we're sitting pretty right now, looking for that next move higher as well. MPC is also in that list. And again, you can see well bid now, bullish U-turn into well bid into new highs. So again, if we zoom this out, you can see where we are. We actually have the next target up to 60 coming out of this well bid candlestick. So well bid on the monthly, well bid on the daily, looking for 60 as the next target. Two stocks I want to talk about from a trade management perspective. Plug we called out last week. Hopefully you participated in this. A lot of members of the community have been talking about it. This is one of those situations right now where it's a little bit less probabilistic to earn money on a new swing trade at these levels. So with the proper trade management at this point is to be looking to move your trailing stop up if it's a swing trade. If it's a longer term investment, then obviously you're letting the stock play itself out. Same thing with LMND, which we called out last week. We actually got a big reversal candle yesterday. You might say that it failed at the previous day's high because of how far and how fast the stock has moved. I'm waiting for it to either pull back or pause a little bit, but adding a new swing trade at this point is a little bit lower probability to see follow through on the other side. One other one that we kind of joke around and call drunk uncle in the community is OSTK. Had a big $10 day yesterday, still clearly in bearish order flow. But what we were looking to see now is how did that trade volume wise? Was it an energy candlestick? And it was. So this is one now that's going to pop back into our radar, but not trade yet. We want to see a little bit more confirmation than just 1 day of smart money jumping into that stock. We want to see a little bit more, maybe 2 days, maybe 3 days, maybe even a weekly candle to confirm that. If it does, the stock is a really special stock to trade. It gives good volatility, easier to read when the order flow is obvious, when the tape is obvious. It's not yet. Essentially what I'm doing though is teaching you how to think like a trader, and you start to set these stocks up into your watch list. If you want to get my game plan every day, you want to get our stocks, we actually have in our morning game plan, usually anywhere from 20 to 30 new stock ideas for both day traders and swing traders every morning. And also obviously during the day, we give you the entries, the exits, the profit targets, the stop losses. If you want to be involved in those meetings, click down and learn about the boot camp. I'd love to see you on the other side. Have a great day, everybody. Take care.